What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York and Alto Music, and we got another very special guest. We got Otep here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So, first things always first, Generation Doom is the latest record, and the record sounds absolutely awesome. It came out last year in the spring. How's the record cycle been this past year?
That's been great. The fans have been wonderful. They've embraced it fully, and we've had some really great successes in terrestrial radio, which we never thought we'd ever have. And it's just, I don't know. It's been a really wonderful experience with this record.
Yeah, and I know that you were here last year with Dollskin, September Morning, and Through
right.
Fire,
Yeah.
Almost a year ago, May 9th, I think it was. And
Okay.
and I know you've been on many tours after that and been constantly busy. And you tour with a variety of different bands. I've noticed you've toured with very heavy bands, and then you've toured with bands on the more rock spectrum. Do you notice like a different reaction, like in the crowd or like in these different audiences? Is there that much of a difference depending on the crowd you play with?
I think it depends on the band and how they perform. I don't think our fans really care about genre so much as they care about what the band is giving them. So our fans want passion and they want fun, and so if you believe in what you're doing and you're on tour with us, I think you're gonna do pretty well as long as you believe in what you're doing and you're passionate about it. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I know in a lot of your music that you have a lot of political motivation behind it, and you really speak what you believe, which is what I really love about Otep. Obviously in the times that we're living in now, I could imagine that that's a huge inspiration for that. One thing I was always curious about is because not only are your lyrics really meaningful, but I think the music itself in the background really speaks to your message. Do you listen to the music first and then you kind of write the lyrics and saying, oh, I want to talk about that in this? Or do you like have the lyrics or meaning planned out beforehand, and you and then Ari and the other guys write according to that?
It's really a collaboration, especially this last record. It was Aristotle and I. We would present each other with ideas. So musically, he'd come up with something and say, "This is what I got. What do you think of it?" And then I would say, "Well, lyrically, this is what I got. What do you think of it?" And we would just kind of coagulate from there, And that's the kind of sort of artistic alchemy that I've always wanted with other creatives, so that they bring with their best, I bring my best, and we create something brand new with it. And so it's never really, our process is pretty much, there's no process, there's no rules. That's the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're writing new music, do you kind of like to make because you have a lot of records, and do you like to make like a follow-up to a previous record that you've done, or do you like to try to bring something fresh, something that fans are not expecting from Otep?
We try to keep it exciting for ourselves. I think writing our truth is what's most important. I don't think we've ever done a follow-up record. I think we just try to write authentically. And we've had 2 concept albums. So Hydra was a concept album, but unrelated to our first concept album, which was House of Secrets. And those are just, when you say concept album, I mean, it just means that it's really artsy, And I mean, we have one song, I think, on House of Secrets that doesn't even have choruses because I didn't want them to. So we wrote them without them. But I think we just whatever is happening within us as artists and how we've filtered our life experience through is what ends up on the records.
Yeah. And I know you've played in New York many times, and there's a lot of people here who love you. Shout out to Tim37. He talks about you all the time.
Love Tim.
Yeah. And we talk about the New York City metal scene all the time. What's your take on New York City and heavy metal?
I love New York. It's one of my favorite places in the world to play. New York City, especially. It's always the great thing about the audience is that it's never what we expect. It's so diverse. They're so passionate. They're so exciting. And for us, it doesn't matter what room we're playing or what venue we're playing or how many people show up. It's about what energy they're giving us. And if they're giving us, all of themselves, then we're going to give them everything we have and probably more. I mean, for us, every show counts. We try to play every show as if it's our last. And And so whenever we walk out and it's like, oh, you know, if it's a lighter crowd, we're in a smaller town. Does if they're some of those are our favorite shows because they're just insane.
Yeah.
So whenever we play New York City, we know it's going to be insane. So but it's never it never our expectations are always surpassed by the people that show up. Always.
Yeah, I mean, we love you here in New York City. When that tour was announced, we were just like, yes,
That's
another a year later.
Yeah, man.
And
Thank you.
final question, and it was actually for Ari, because Ari, I know we specialize in musical gear and equipment. Yep, and I was just wondering for the gearheads at Alto Music, what are some of your key elements? If you'd like to jump in here.
Key elements. Instrumentally,
Yeah.
you know, we're endorsed by ESP. They've taken care of us for many years. You know, bass and guitar. We're using what I'm trying to think. What else we're using? We're using some Akai equipment for some backing tracks that we have. Some songs like equal lefts, equal rights.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was Akai. I knew.
Yep. So Akai for that, and we're using some Behringer for front of house and in-ears, Sennheiser mics, and Sennheiser packs for wireless. That's and Kemper guitar, guitar amplifier, and I think that's all the big ones.
Wow. That's very impressive. So before we go, first of all, thank you so much for your time and being here. I know it's crazy hot out today, but is there anything else that you would like to promote or anything you would like to voice? Because you are the best at that.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to New York City for always giving us so much love and making us feel like we're at home.
Yeah, we love you here, and
Thank you.
we're looking forward to having you back
We
again.
love playing here.
Yep, nobody brings it like New York City.
That's right.
Everybody, Alex here from Alto Music and Heavy New York. Be sure to check out Otep's latest record, Generation Doom. If you haven't yet, you have been missing out for this past year. It's absolutely kick-ass. Otep, everybody.